Welcome to Simply Good, Cooking with Rebecca. Today I'm making pecan pie. Pecan pie is my husband's favorite, and I do it just a little bit differently. I make it with a shortbread crust. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my crust started with 2 cups of flour into my food processor. To my flour, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. To my flour and salt, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of sugar. Alright, with my sugar, salt, and flour in the food processor, I'm going to give it just a quick pulse just to kind of combine those. Once your dry ingredients are combined, it's time to get your butter going. Since this is a shortbread light crust, it takes quite a bit of butter. This is 1 3/4 sticks or 14 tablespoons. I'm just going to cut that into pieces. You want to make sure your butter is really nice and cold, because when you mix it in with the flour, especially with the food processor, you'll get little layers of butter, and it'll help make your crust more flaky because that butter will melt in the oven and expand up and create layers in your crust. So you just want to keep your butter really cold the whole time. Okay, now you're going to add your butter to the food processor once it's cut, and you want to just kind of drop it in cubes, not just one big chunk, or cutting it was worthless if you just drop it in one chunk. My butter added, I'm going to pulse this together until it comes together with pea-sized crumbs. Okay, into this, my final ingredients are 1 egg yolk and 2 tablespoons of ice water. Okay, with your liquids added, you're going to just pulse this just until it comes together, and it may be still crumbly, but it should hold together when squeezed. Okay, once my dough's come together, I'm just going to turn it out onto some saran wrap, shape it into a ball, and then let it rest in the refrigerator for about an hour. Okay, so my pie dough has come out of the fridge, and if you pull your dough out and it's too stiff to roll out, that's fine. Just let it sit at room temperature for a few minutes until it's pliable. So I'm just going to turn this out onto a lightly floured surface. And then roll it out. For this crust, you just kind of want to roll it out to about the size of your pie plate, then you can drop it in and kind of just mold it in place in the pie plate. It can be a little bit temperamental, but I've always had it turn out very tasty. Just sometimes it's a little bit difficult to work with, but you can just plop it in and treat it kind of like a press-in crust if you need to. So once that's in, you're just going to put this back in the fridge or freezer while you make your filling. While the crust for my pecan pie is in the refrigerator, I'm going to work on the filling. I'm going to start by beating 3 whole eggs. Alright, you want to beat your eggs until they're nice and light and pretty foamy. And then you're going to add 2/3 of a cup of sugar. Okay, to the eggs and sugar, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of light Caro syrup. Next, I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon each of vanilla, and then kind of a weird ingredient that I've been told is the secret ingredient of this pie is a teaspoon of white distilled vinegar. Don't worry, you won't be able to taste the vinegar once the pie is cooked. Okay, next you're just going to beat it just until all of your ingredients are combined. Now that my ingredients are combined, I'm just going to stir in 1 cup of pecans. These are pecan halves, pecan pieces are fine too. With my pecans stirred in, I'm just going to get my pie crust out of the refrigerator now. Okay, now I'm going to pour my filling into the pie. Okay, the last step before the pie goes in the oven is it gets 3 tablespoons of butter cut into small pieces and just spread out over the top of the pie. Okay, so this just goes in a 350-degree oven for 30 to 40 minutes. You'll know it's done if when you kind of shake the pie, it jiggles and isn't liquidy. It's just a little bit stiff, kind of like Jell-O. Pecan pie is out of the oven. If your pie looks done on top, but it's still, when you shake it, seems a little bit liquidy in the center, that's okay. You can pull it out and let it cool to room temperature. It'll set up quite a bit. Pecan pie is great for a holiday or just a fall dessert any time of year. Pecan pie is simply good.